All right. Welcome, good people, to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement, aka the Man Cave. But what's happening, good people? We're going to dive right in because I don't want to talk too extremely long because I want to give people time for a phone call. So I'm going to just get right to the topics. I have like 4 topics to go over, so I'm going to try to get right to them. Let me be quick. Let me first just say hello to the early commenters. We got Zuri Rivers in the building. We got Lanisha, the lovely Lanisha in the building. I already saw her. So guys, make sure you say hello to our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation. Treat them with care and lay out that red carpet for them. We got James Hayes in the building. My man Brent Fox is in the building as well. Who else is up in here, man? Appreciate that, James. James says he loved the All 22 breakdown on the members only. Guys, listen, it's bad. If you want to see it, you got to join the channel. That's just the only way that I can produce that content, where it's, lack of better term, worth my time, so to speak, as well as being able to provide exclusive content to you guys. You guys know my reason for that, and I'll talk about that here in a moment. But hey, you definitely want to check that out, so if you are a channel member, definitely check that out. And if you would like to become a channel member, sure, check that out as well. It's a small monthly fee. Who else we got up in here? Kev So Fun. Steeler Cards is in the building. Who else is up in here? First Dad is in the building. Andy, what's that say? Does that say Flag HC? Andy Flag HC is in the building. Excuse me, I'm burping at the same time trying to talk. Rajan is in the building. My good brother Mark Cunningham is in the building. Who else? My good brother Kenyon, of course, is in the building. CT Pittman in the building. Me and CT Pittman all on that Battlefield 6 earlier. Well, not together, but we're going to make that happen. Who else is in the building? Mr. Winningham, lovely Mr. Winningham. My guy's in the building. Leonard Green is in the building. Jermaine White is in the building. Big Dro is in the building. And we'll stop it right about there. Famous, my guy, infamous Tim is in the building as well. Yeah, I'll get you the Discord link in just a moment. Guys, y'all going to have to tell me, does the video look weird? It seems like my camera is doing something strange. Like it's almost got like a little, like a robotic effect to it or something. Maybe it's just the way I'm seeing it. I don't know. But anyway, what's going on, guys? And I will grab that Discord link. I see Zuri's already in there, so he must have kept the link from the last time. But let me grab it, and I will throw it in the chat for you guys in 1 second here. Bear with me, because in order to put it in the chat, I've got to go to YouTube, to the stream in there where I can post the chat directly. Hold on, give me 2 seconds, man. All right, here we are. I'm going to post it, and I will repost it again as well. So, all right, let's get right to it, man. Let's get to my topics. Let's get through these, so we're not talking extremely long. I got some double audio right there as I pull up my notes. First thing I'm going to talk about, guys, in this order, the injury report. So let's talk about the injury report. I think most of us probably understand who's injured and who's not. Mike Tomlin talked about, what's his name? Equale. I think it's Daniel. Or was it David? But I think it's Daniel Equale. It is injured. He's dealing with an ACL issue, so that might be a long-term situation. Also, Deshaun Elliott. We already know about Deshaun Elliott. Hyperextended knee. So I would say that's a lot better news than we expected. In my opinion, it looked like that thing may have been season ending, right? As well as you heard me talk about after the game, understanding that he's had issues with the other leg. I was talking like, man, this could be one of those things that if I was him, you contemplate retirement, because I thought it was something worse than a hyperextension. But hey, again, I'm sure that hurts as well. But hyperextended knee isn't as bad as it could be, so hopefully that is the prognosis. Isaac Seumalo is dealing with a pec, and he's questionable. But Tomlin did say for both Elliott and Seumalo, it's more so week to week, even though I think I did see a report that the Steelers have placed Elliott on IR. So if that is the case, he, of course, can be designated to return at some point. But there you have it. So I think, in my opinion, this is just how I view it, that kind of takes away the week to week. And hold on, guys. Give me a second. I was hearing some audio, and it's coming from the Discord. So I just muted somebody, and make sure you guys are muted up until we get to the calls. But I see we got 4 people in the queue. So boom, I love that. Let me try to get through my stuff quick, man, because I want to hear from you all, of course. All right, so that's the injury report. That's what we got for the injury report. Now let's talk about some Steelers roster moves. Now this should be interesting because I can't wait to see in the chat, and I'm going to peek in the chat after I talk about each person. Just, spend a few minutes in the chat to see what you guys think about each of these roster moves. The first one that we heard about was the Steelers have signed Marquise Valdez-Scantling, MVS, that you may have heard him referred to as MVS in his time in the NFL. He has also played with Aaron Rodgers for a stint in Green Bay. Now, the question that I have for him is, well, I'll get to it. Let me go on to the next person, then the next person. So then after that, we heard that the Steelers signed a safety, Derek Forrest. And it's funny, guys, this is how much football that we watch, right? I text Kenyon, I said, hey, I'm not all the way familiar with him. I said, but I think he played for the Colts. And Kenyon said, hold on, let me check. And Kenyon comes back, and Kenyon said that let me see what Kenyon said. I think he said he actually played for Washington, I think, or was it the Bills? I think he said he played for the Bills and the Colts in 2025. So then I thought that was funny, right? Because here's the funny thing about that. I don't really exactly know who he is as far as his skill, but I remembered I watched enough football. As I told Kenyon verbatim, I said, yeah, that last name sounds familiar. I remember seeing this guy in blue and white. And there you have it. He did play for the Colts. So, again, I'm not so familiar with his game. I don't know what type of safety he is or isn't. So I don't have much to say. Yeah, this is what Kenyon said. He played in Cincinnati in college, drafted by the Commanders in 2021, played for the Bills and Colts in recent years. So, and there you have it. But anyway, I definitely remembered for some reason seeing that name, and maybe I was thinking about another Forrest that played for the Colts. But anyway, don't know much about him. But the next guy, the Steelers traded for safety Kyle Duggar. And from what I remember, just doing this off the cuff, I think they said that the Patriots would receive a 6th round pick, I think, from the Steelers. And the Steelers, I think, got a 7th or something like that. And Kyle, but hold on, let's be accurate. I'll get it right now. I try to speak facts when I can. And it's basically the reports. So yeah, it says here, reported by Adam Schefter, New England is sending safety Kyle Duggar and a 7th round pick to Pittsburgh in exchange for a 6th round pick. Now, I don't know what year the picks are in, but that is the breaking news. And it says also New England, traded Keon White as well to the 49ers for a 6th round pick. So again, what I will say about Kyle Duggar, I'm a little more familiar with him. I'm actually more familiar with him from even in his college days. I have not watched him a ton in the NFL. So what I quickly did, and again, I don't usually like to do this because it doesn't paint a full picture. But what I quickly did is, guys are always putting highlight packages together. I went and just looked at highlight packages, not to assess how good or bad he is, but just kind of trying to see his play style and if it was familiar to what I kind of remember of him. And yeah, he is more of a box style safety, right? Plays in the box, plays downhill, a tackling type of guy. I have no problem with that because it appears that this guy would be the answer, if you will, or at least one of the answers for no Deshaun Elliott, right? And I feel like this is what I actually feel like. I feel like the Steelers feel like they could do better. This is just my assessment. I don't know if this is a fact, but I'm going to say if it was me making the decision. I feel like we could do a little bit better than Chuck Clark, and you still allow Jabril Peppers to play. And I'm just talking about guys that are more thumpers in the box type of guys. I think you could do a little bit better than Chuck Clark, and maybe that's what this is, right? I haven't been too keen on Juan Thornhill either, kind of looking at some of the film from this previous game. But again, I don't want to just go blame every single player, man, but I think he is more of the replacement for a Deshaun Elliott, and they want to do better than Chuck Clark. That's just my guess. But let me ask, how do you guys feel about these new additions really quick before I move on to the next thing? What do y'all have in the chat? How do you feel about any one of these guys? Maybe you don't know them all, but how do you feel about Valdez-Scantling? Again, Kyle Duggar, as well as Derek Forrest. And I will get to the donations in just a moment. I thank you guys in advance for the Wonder Bread. I'll get to you in a moment after these guys or some of you respond to this. Here's my other question to you guys. And hold on, guys. I got to mute somebody again. Hey, guys, you got to remember, if you come on to the Discord, I need you to mute until it's time for the call. See, guys, not getting on you guys, but see, this is why I said I like blog talk radio style. See, this is why these programs don't always work, because I don't want to have to tell you guys, hey, I need you to mute. You know what I mean? It sucks that we got to use this type of program, but I am happy to use something to talk to you guys. So I'll just give you a reminder. When you come on, make sure you mute so you're not coming through the speakers before we get to the phone. But as far as Valdez-Scantling, my question would be, from what I remember from his game, is he's a speedster, right? I don't know how he developed throughout his career. Again, I watch a lot of football, but I don't always pay attention to individual guys unless they are jumping off of the screen. You understand what I'm saying? So I could not tell you how, MVS how he has become, what type of receiver overall. I just know he's a fast guy. And the reason why I asked the question, if we intend to play him, like, who does he take off the field? Calvin Austin is fast. Does he replace Calvin Austin? Roman Wilson seems to be coming on a little bit. Does he replace Roman Wilson? Do the Steelers feel like they could get better? I don't know. I'm saying I don't know. I know some of y'all are going to offer your opinion, but honestly, I have not seen enough to say, yeah, we definitely got to do better than Roman Wilson. I think Roman Wilson is starting to show a little something. But even with all of that said, I don't know if Valdez-Scantling is the route running guy. You understand what I'm saying? So I think you could get the performance from Calvin Austin, which Calvin Austin was starting to heat up a little bit before he got hurt. And I think Roman Wilson is coming on. And I don't think Valdez-Scantling is the next step, the next level, number 2. You understand what I'm saying? So that would be my only question. What are the Steelers trying to achieve with him? But let me see what you guys are saying really quick about the receiver position, and then I will answer the super chats. Appreciate you guys. Sonny Rothmiller says MVS is an Aaron Rodgers guy. Yep. That connection. Jay Webb says he's okay, but unless the line works out, what will it matter? Hey, that's always a good question. What else y'all got? Hope I'm saying this correctly. Is it Ostalano Ramiro? He says all these moves are Band-Aids. We have much bigger issues. True, but I mean, at this point, that's all you're going to get. is Band-Aids. You know what I mean? At this point of the season. Wide receiver by committee. Okay, I'm with that, James. Excuse me, Jermaine. Steeler Card says MVS isn't anything more than a fourth receiver. Yeah. Not taking Roman Wilson or Calvin off the field. That's kind of where I'm at with it as well. Zoo Boomin says, Austin is fast, but he doesn't play as fast as he is, if that makes sense. Okay, I got you. Somebody says, sad part is Tomlin isn't worth his weight in manure. Okay. Zoo Boomin again says, Roman Wilson looks like he's ready to break out. Yeah, Roman Wilson is looking like he's ready to contribute for sure. CT Pittman says, we're looking more and more inept for getting rid of Pickens. I understand the sentiment, CT. You know you my guy. You know how we rock. The only thing that I would disagree with in terms of that is George Pickens worked his way out of Pittsburgh. He kind of left them no choice. I mean, they could have kept him and just dealt with it. But then if there was a blow up, right? Let's just say there was some type of blow up or more antics from him, then still a nation would be saying, why did y'all keep him? You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of a tough situation for the Steelers to be in. And, of course, George Pickens has been playing well for the Cowboys. And immediately, not saying you, because I know you better than that, but a lot of people would say, oh, see. You know, I think George Pickens did what he had to do to get out of Pittsburgh. And some people would say, well, why? I think George Pickens looked at the quarterback situation and was like, this ain't it. He clearly was not happy with any quarterback we had. And at that time, there wasn't any assurance that Rodgers was coming. You understand? So that's what I think that was about. All right, man. Wonder Bread from quite a few of you guys. So we're just going to throw a global round of applause. I appreciate y'all so much for it. Last King of Scotland says, Matt Canada and TA are horrible. Worst combo hire ever. Hard to argue that. But if we look down the Steelers tree, you know, some people might say that about Fichtner and Butler, you know. But I definitely understand where you're coming from, my good brother. James Webb says, what up? He says, according to ESPN, Tomlin supporting Austin amid this mess makes it hard to support him. What else does he need to see? That is a good point. That is a good point what you're making. Not saying I agree or disagree, but I definitely understand your point. And yeah, shout outs to Digging in the Crates. I'm going to get to that in a moment. I'm definitely going to get to that in a moment. A couple of Tomlin's comments that I want to go over. CT Pittman says, personally, I'm tired of us picking up players on their farewell tour. By the way, where's Beanie Bishop? I'd rather see him instead of Slay. At least he made some plays. Man, CT, I ain't mad at you for that. I'm not mad at you for that, man. And I think it's going to be very, very telling if we really start to see more of Echols than Slay, right? Because I have my personal opinion. And I know they tried to say they were just trying to get pieces out there, but if we start to see that trend continue to go, that's going to be very telling. And listen, this is how I felt. Y'all remember me saying this, right? I know y'all do. Before the season started, this was what my feeling was about Slay, period. Not against him, but the fact that he was 33 and now 34 years old. It's just, remember we did the whole comparison and, you know, some of you guys was like, yeah, it's kind of like when Joe Hayden came. Yeah, but Joe Hayden was younger. And we saw what happened when Joe Hayden got to 31, 32, 33. It's inevitable. You know what I mean? So I did not like that from the beginning. And obviously, again, the Steelers will still need to be in search of some solidified cornerbacks. All of them don't have to be superstars, but you got to get some of these ballers, right? Again, look at the kid that we just played against, that Valentine kid. It's not the first time that I've seen him play, and he might not be a superstar, but he's a scrappy. We need that, right? Even Joy. I'm hesitant to give him his name back. I'm hesitant because I did see some things in the film where I can't really get on him. And I'll talk about that in a second as well. But anyway, we need number 24. We need guys with that type of mentality, just without the grabbiness. And the Steelers need a few of those guys. You know, they're going to have to make a commitment there and stop going with the older, veteran guys. And I think I got all of the Wonder Bread. But shout outs to my man, Brent Fox, man. Round of applause to him as well, man. Being an extended family member for 48 months. Wow. Brent says, first of all, it's Sim and Steeler family, what's up? But he says, for those completely trashing the entire organization, easy solution, stop supporting the team. Hey, man, sometimes you got to make that tough decision, man. But shout outs to Brett. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate the comment. But all right, guys, listen, let me get to the next topic because it's already been 22 minutes. Okay, so we're not too crazy. Let's keep it rolling and we can get to the calls quick. Comments from Mike Tomlin. There's a couple that stood out. A couple. One of which was when he said, he agrees with Cam saying the team didn't respond to adversity well. Now, I saw some reports where Brooke Pryor reported something slightly different. Some people were trying to say that, and I even saw it on Steelers Depot, they were kind of saying that his message was different of that of the players. I don't know if I took it that way. I think because he also said usually him and Cam are on the same accord. And basically the two things that they were talking about was the lack of fight, right? Versus lack of, I can't remember how Tomlin phrased it, but he was saying not necessarily a lack of effort, but lack of plays, right? So he was trying to smooth it over like he was saying, no, it's not necessarily that, it's this. But here's what I would say about the head coach, right? Just period. Just nameless gray face, like he says. Guys, there's no head coach in the world that I think that's a good head coach is ever going to come out and openly just dog players, right? That's been Mike Tomlin's MO his whole career. He's going to take the brunt. So I think it is very possible that he probably does feel the same way that Cam and the players were saying, but he's not going to get in that press conference and say that, right? So whatever people want to believe is their business, but I wouldn't expect him to get up there and say, yeah, they suck. They ain't had no fight. No. I think he would say it in a very political way, but then you got to pay attention to him saying, a lot of times me and Cam are on the same accord. So my thing is, to me, that ain't the story. The story is what somebody said on Sunday, and I can't remember who it was that left the comment, but when he was just talking about the overall culture, that's what it is to me too. It's like we need dogs back in there, right? And I'm not saying that they're not, but I don't really get the sense of, when I watch them play, I don't really see those relentless guys. It's a couple of them on the defense, but I don't see enough fight, right? As far as just the mentality. So it makes me wonder, man, because I came down heavy on Terrell Austin and Mike Tomlin on Sunday, but after rewatching a lot of the film, I still think there's things to blame them for, but then also is some of the execution. But we're going to get to it in a moment. But anyway, I thought that was interesting that he said that. He says that, basically Cam saying that the team didn't respond to adversity well, and Tomlin kept hanging on that point. He said, I didn't like the way they responded to that. I did not like the way we responded to, giving up some of the big plays, not, finishing drives and things like that. That is interesting. And it's funny because it's kind of like what I tell our little Pop Warner team, right? It's times when we winning, and just this past Saturday, we was winning. We up, and the team scored, or something happened, and their faces drooping, and I'm like, what? Why are y'all acting like that? We winning. So it's funny to hear Tomlin say that some people, he did not like the way they responded to adversity. And that is something that he's never really said about, that I can recall, about a group of players. So that's something that caught my eye and caught my attention. And I'm going to be paying very close attention to it. The other thing he did, Tomlin talked about not taking over the defensive play calling. Why is that an important statement? Before I even say this, guys, I'm still going to say we have no way of fully confirming this. But it's what I always thought, because it's what I see when I watch the game and what Mike Tomlin has said. He allows his coaches to coach. When you look on the sideline, when they give shots to Terrell Austin, he's clearly calling the plays, right? Many people feel like it's all on Mike Tomlin. I never thought that, and I still don't think that. And him saying that today was interesting. But I still hold Mike Tomlin responsible for the defense as well, because Mike Tomlin, I'm sure, has his hand on the blueprint of the defense. There's no way you're going to tell me that he has nothing to do with it. Think back to, even we talk about Joe Hayden. I talked about him earlier. Think about, though, that time when we played New England and we finally beat them and we picked off Brady and all of that, and they talking about how Tomlin sometimes, and things are going wrong, he's over there drawing plays in the grass like you in the backyard. You see what I'm saying? So I know he has his blueprint or his imprint on the defense, but Terrell Austin is the guy that is calling the defense. And it's interesting to hear him say that it's not on the table right now for him to take over. So for any of you guys that want to blame me for, y'all accuse me for beating up Terrell Austin and not Mike Tomlin. Well, the only reason I do that when I talk about the coordinator is because this is the guy that they all tell us that runs the defense. But I also blame Mike Tomlin for allowing things to be the way it is, meaning you are good with the way we're producing, or you're good with the plan. And honestly, guys, maybe him and Terrell Austin feel like it is just a matter of execution. I don't all the way agree with that, because I definitely will say, from watching the film, and now I'll bleed into my last topic, it's just like I said Sunday, and it's just like I've been saying for a long time. Some of it is what we choose to, not only the play call, but it's the technique of how we play it, which is a huge problem. I really wish somebody could explain to me why we line up the way we do sometimes. Now, number 24, there was a lot of times that maybe you guys didn't catch this in real time. There were a lot of plays that I saw watching the All-22 where we were in man and we blitzed the linebackers, the inside backers quite often, and we had 24 actually lining up tight, getting a hand on the receiver, and a lot of times was doing a good job. But for whatever reason, the other two corners, the nickel and the other outside guy, whoever it was 10 yards off the ball. And there was quite a few times where Jordan Love was just throwing right to that side. And I'm like, why are we doing that? Again, in man and zone. I don't understand the approach. Let me say it like that. I'm not even just going to say play calling, because again, I'm a person I've been calling for more man coverage. Let me tell y'all something. The Steelers ran a lot of man coverage against the Packers. A lot. But again, it was the way we choose to align. I sent Kenyon and Tony a picture today showing the play to Christian Watson. And again, if you guys are channel members like Brent, like Odessa, like Lanisha, Debbie, who else did I see in the chat? James, I'm gonna come back to you. Thank you for that additional Wonder Bread. I haven't forgot, I'm coming. CT Pittman, James Hayes, who did see it. If you are a channel member, go watch the latest All 22 and you're gonna understand exactly what I'm saying. On that play to Christian Watson, we blitzed, we ran a cover one, and for whatever reason, Brandon Echols is lined up like this. He's lined up to take away the outside, literally turned. So imagine if I'm on defense right here and I'm facing the offense. His body is literally turned to the right to force him to go inside. With the single high safety, okay, safety got to make a decision. Juan Thornhill never looks to that side. For whatever reason, he's more concerned. Again, you got to make a choice when you're the single high. You got to play the whole center field. But he never even looks to that side, even though Jordan Love is rolling to the right of the offense, left of the defense. Christian Watson runs a simple post, and it's wide open. Because we were in man coverage and Echols is playing trail. Not press, not bump and run, not tight man, play off the ball, funnel him inside. I guess you're trying to funnel him to the safety, but then we're relying on that safety to choose where the biggest threat is. JPJ, give him his name back temporarily for tonight. He's up top, presses that receiver and does an outstanding job. That receiver, I think it was Dobbs, runs an out. It's a short route. I think the other guy kind of runs an in route. I think the slot runs like somewhat of an in or something like that. But Juan Thornhill never looks over there, right? Never reads the guy closest to you and the fastest guy on the field at that point probably. And it was easy pitch and catch. Again, Jordan Love is rolling to his right, rolling to the side where Watson was lined up. And you as the safety never even looked to see why he. But again, that situation, bad execution, but bad alignment. Because here's the thing. Maybe that was more bad execution. Let me explain to you why. Do you play off one guy and funnel them inside? And does that mean that the safety should be paying more attention to this side because your quote unquote de facto number one corner is pressing, right? That's the only logic I could think. So imagine if you have, let me give y'all this analogy really quick. Imagine if we got a defense with Dion out there. And I say, I'm gonna run cover one. Dion is over here on the X, single receiver side. We running cover one, single safety in the middle of the field. You know where I'm gonna tell the safety to look first? On this side, because Dion got that. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So the only logic that I could think for us lining up like that, because also Jalen Ramsey in the slot was also lined up back and also given the inside to funnel him inside. So here's the thing. Maybe that is by design. So let's say maybe that is design, and that is what Coach Austin and Coach Tomlin is wanting to happen, and they're going to rely on JPJ to hold his man down one-on-one. Cool. If that is the case, then why did Juan Thornhill not acknowledge that side? You see what I'm saying? I promise y'all, you guys who've seen it, James Hayes, you've seen it. Please share some comments in here. I'm telling y'all, when you watch the film it made me back off of the coaches a smidget, but not a lot. Just like some of it is bad execution, bad communication amongst players when the ball snaps. Horrible. On one of them 2-point conversions, or it was 10 people on the field. What? Bad. It was also another play, man, where it seemed like Peyton Wilson was completely lost. It was another play down in the end zone again, the one with the 2-point conversion, where it looked like the corners, Ramsey and who was that, Eccles, it looked like they were going to do what I've been asking for and pass off. And man, and they both ran with the same guy still, and Romeo Doubs is wide open for the little quick out into the end zone. So that's why I say after the ball is hiked and after the play is called, it's execution. Yes, I get on the coaches for what you put out there as far as alignment and play call. But sometimes, I promise y'all, if you watch film, you can see where, yeah. Mike could have covered that with better talent, but there was a lot of plays, man, where we had guys just wide open. Third pass play of the game. Third pass play of the game, guys. The first play where they hit us in the middle of the field. First quarter. I even wrote this one down. 2nd and 7. And it was 7 minutes and 51 seconds left on the clock. And once again, we bailing out. Bailing out, and we give up the skinny post so easy. It's like easy pitch and catch to the middle of the field. And that's where I have a problem with the said scheme by Austin and Tomlin, right? Because I'm going to just say and Tomlin because everybody blames him anyway. I don't understand the scheme. All I need them to do, I just need us to play tighter. That's all I'm asking. Listen, I am not an NFL head coach, and I'm not going to sit here and act like it never works because we've seen times where our defense plays great. It's the same defense. So I'm not going to be two-faced. I'm not going to flip-flop. It works sometimes. But I just need us to adjust. And remember last week, Tomlin even mentioned something about how you play, not so much the play call, but what did he call it? He used a phrase like the coverage posture or something, he said. Playing tighter. That's all I need them to do is stop giving up so much space. If the team beats us, they beat us. But please, for the love of God, stop giving up so much space. Sure, the defense has played great in spots. We've seen it. There's been times over the years that we have said that was a great performance. And I've still came in here and said, I just don't like how that's all I want them to change. You have to continue to mix in man and zone. You can't play one the whole game. You have to disguise, which we did do in this game. But it doesn't work because they're killing us. Remember some of those quick out routes that Jordan Love was running? To the tight end, to Dobbs. The quick ones is because we were so far off the ball. I remember there was one they threw to number 18. Once again, we lined up 11 yards off the ball, and it was like a smoke screen. He just stood up, boom, hit it to him, 13 yards. They got to fix that, man. I don't know how and if they will. And that is my problem with that game, man. Just if defensively is just a mess from alignment to player execution. Round of applause to you guys that gave up the Wonder Bread. I appreciate y'all. And we about to go into these calls right after this. James Webb says, adding the wide receiver Band-Aid allows for Rodgers to go 5 wide and call plays without tight ends. May work, but we not giving up 400 yards. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. What's the next one? Thanks, CT Pittman. Oh, my Lord. CT, come on, man. Come on. A round of applause to CT Pittman going crazy, bumping his head tonight. CT Pittman is my guy, man. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. This ain't Wonder Bread. This is a Wonder Loaf. Whole loaf. I appreciate you, man. He said, it's crazy that they are still having communication issues this deep in the season. We played football, Sim, yeah. We go over the coverages in the classroom first, then take it on the field and not understanding where the disconnect is from that. That is an excellent point, and the reason why I want to point that out as well, I've told you guys, and I think Why Diggy has something too. Yeah, here it goes. I'm going to read that in a second, Why Diggy. This is why I'm not always I don't have so much venom for coaches all the time, unless it's something you clearly can see that they're doing from a coach decision, right? Guys, I dealt with it tonight. And some people are going to say, yeah, but you're dealing with 11 and 12-year-olds. No. We have had a pretty good offense all season. We have gone 6-2. We will be playing in the playoffs this weekend. But every practice, when we run the same basic plays, like our bread and butter plays on offense, one of the linemen or one of the receivers continue to say, what I do on this one again? And I just told him tonight, I said, we've played 8 games. We had over a month worth of practice before we even played a game. How is it that you don't know this? Oh, yeah, that's right. So that still happens, guys. At college, at high school, in the NFL, that type of stuff you cannot put on the coaches. I've always said that. And just like what CT Pittman said, I played the game too. And there was things that I did that had nothing to do with the coach. I'd always tell y'all that story about when I got an interception and the coach wasn't happy about it because he told me not to go deep. He told me to play in the flats. But me, no, understanding down and distance and the clock, the time on the clock and all that, I'm going to take it upon myself to vacate. I drop back deep. I get the pick. And everybody, my teammates, congratulating me, slapping me on the helmet. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. And I go to the sideline. I see my coach doing this. He called me into the office. He said, what was you doing back there? I said, Coach, but just answer. What were you doing back there? And I love that he made me answer it because he wanted me to take responsibility. And he forced me to say, Coach, I just, I kind of felt like they was going to throw it deep and I just took a chance. He said, okay. I don't want to rob you from your instincts. He said, but son, that's not what I told you to do. He said, what if they would have ran a screen or threw it short? Then what would your explanation have been? He said, so listen, good job doing that. However, there's certain things that I need you to do and I expect you to do. I was like, you're right, Coach. I'm sorry. See what I'm saying? That had nothing to do with him. It was me doing what I wanted to do. So I think that continues to travel as you get to the highest level. Sometimes it's just bad execution by the player. I got to read this as well really quick, then cause I'm coming right to you. And look, it's been 44 minutes. It goes so fast. Why Diggy says, I feel that time has run its course on MT in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Like all the ATG coaches that were a piece of what do you say? I'm missing something here. Like all of they were at a place for a long time, i.e. No, Landry, Belichick, etc. Yeah, I honestly, and y'all know I've been saying that too. as a Mike Tomlin fan, remember I said even starting this season, even last season, I said, look, after 17 years, look, after 18 years, I don't think nobody should complain if there were no more Mike Tomlin. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you are a diehard fan, that's a long time. And maybe it has run its course. Do I think he's a good coach? I do. But it could be one of them scenarios, man. I mean, that's a fair statement. It may have run its course. And that just is what it is. And, you know, honestly, I think he's just been he's a good enough coach to continue to somehow pull off seasons where it's not a losing season. Again, I'm not glorifying that accolade. I'm just saying that proves to you that he is a great coach. Because with some of these teams that we've had, and I don't know how that was even possible, but could be time. But like I said, we ain't gonna see that for another, 3 years? Because I think his extension didn't even include this season, right? I think it's through the 2027 season. So 2 years, I guess. Yeah, but I don't know. But all right, man, let's get to the phone lines, man. I'm sorry for keeping y'all waiting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So another downfall that I don't have with, obviously, Discord. I can't tell who was first. So I'm going to just grab you guys in the order that I see it. However, Mr. Winningham is always going to be first. So we're going to bring Mr. Winningham on first. And I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. So let me go ahead and unmute you. All right, there we are. How you doing tonight, sir?
Pretty good. How you doing tonight?
Good.
Good. I just can't believe that, we just do not make adjustments. And between the coaching adjustments and the players communicating is a big problem too, because I can't believe the last 2 weeks, one person just completely destroyed us, either throughout the whole Cincinnati game or the second half of the Green Bay game with the tight end. And there's just some things that, we're just not doing. I mean, you're going to, like you say, jamming wide receivers. Guys like TJ Watt, you got the tight end right over you. If you can just punch that tight end before he releases, sometimes that just makes the world a difference. But we don't jam the tight end. We just let the guy release. If a running back's come through the line without the ball, you got to hit him one way or the other. It's just simple things. But not going to get on the offense. I mean, I'm pretty much sure they deserve some blame, but not as much as the defense. I just don't see anything from our defensive front. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, it was nothing from those guys. And it's not like TJ Watt's getting double teamed all the time, and they just, did we sign him a year too late? Well, I hope everybody have a great week, and thank you.
Man, Mr. Winningham, thank you for coming on. And see, every time you come on, you always remind me of something that I forgot about. And hold on, guys. I'm going to see. Let me go to YouTube really quick because I want to give the credit to the channel. I watch the channel all the time, and I don't know why I can't think of this guy's name. I think it's Off Something Production. What's his name? Hold on, guys. Bear with me for 2 seconds. If I don't see it right away, then, hold on. It might be in my history. Where is it? Off-Season Productions. Shout outs to him. I think he watches my channel from time to time. He knows I watch him. Shout outs to Off-Season Productions, right? He put up a montage earlier today, or it might have been yesterday. I just saw it today. He says the Steelers paid TJ Watt $41 million for this, right? And y'all know this guy, a lot of times he's very optimistic, but I like to say that him and I are very similar, right? We will have optimism, not necessarily optimism. We will speak highly about something, but when it doesn't pan out, we're going to come and say that. right? Even though if I felt, or this guy, or this coach, or this player, da 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 da, but then when they do something wrong, I'm the first one to be like, see, da 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 da. That's how it should be, right? He showed in that montage, it's about 3 minutes long, what Mr. Winningham just said. There were a lot of times, I mean a lot of times when TJ Watt in that game was not double teamed. A couple times the tight end chipped him a little bit on the way out, but there he showed a lot of times where whoever that tackle was just handling him. Now listen, the other guy gets paid too, but I'm just saying. And I thought, okay, maybe he was getting rid of the ball fast. No. In those clips, no. He was dropping back, wasn't quickly getting rid of the ball, and I'm like, huh. And again, am I getting down on TJ Watt? No, not largely, but you gotta say that. Come on, guys. Come on, TJ. I'm just saying. All right, next one in line on my end, infamous Tim. What you got for us?
So I'm going to do something a bit different than most people. I'm actually going to get on the offense because this game has really highlighted a point that I've been having problems with this offense for the past 5 or 6 years now. And it's that whenever anything, and I mean anything negative happens on a drive, there's like a 95% chance you can bet that drive is going to stall out, whether it be false start on first down, you might get a negative run on second down, it doesn't matter. Now, I understand, obviously, being behind the sticks is bad for any offense, no brainer, but your average NFL offense can still convert drives and keep drives going at a pretty decent rate if they get, a sack on first down or a negative, 2-yard run on first down. This offense, the minute we get anything negative going, the drive is just done. And we're suddenly looking up and it's 3rd and 12 and we've done nothing. Even when your defense, I get it, they're bad right now. They're not doing too well. But as an offense, sometimes we need you to respond. If the other side isn't doing what they need to do, sometimes we need you to go out there and respond. But we get a false start play on first down and then the drive's over. We gave up 7 points on the previous drive, 3 and out on offense. We just gave up another 3 points on defense. Now we're down 10 points when we really could have used, even if you don't score on that offensive drive, we could have at least used you guys to, convert third downs and, get some kind of drive going to give the defense a break or something. And we're just not doing that. It's been a problem with Randy Fichtner, Matt Canada, and now Arthur Smith. I get it that we are a run-first offense, but our inability and refusal to sometimes just drop back and just dart teams up, to me, is maddening. We had, a first-round pick in Kenny Pickett. You want to complain that he wasn't the guy? Well, you got Aaron Rodgers. You went out and you waited to get that guy, and you're not utilizing him at all. To me, it's just infuriating because when you see him throw the ball, you can clearly see the arm talent is still there. So I just don't understand why we're not doing that. But thank you, Steelers family. I won't take up any more of your time.
Man, Tim, brother, I can't disagree with any of that. To be honest with you, I can't. Excellent point. Excellent point. And you know why I want to highlight that so much is sometimes I'm going to give y'all a peek into my brain a little bit. Sometimes when I'm watching a game, I'm asking myself, am I being too critical? I literally do. Sometimes I ask myself, am I being a little too critical, a little too harsh? And Tim just proved to me that I'm not. And what I'm talking about is it drives me up the wall. Those two things that Tim just said. We get a little penalty, drive is dead most of the time, unless we just make some miracle throw. But here's the big one. We pitch a 3 and out defensively. And in this game, at the time when you need it the most, and then the offense goes out there, goes 3 and out. It's like it was a moment in that Packers game, and I think we might have been up. We might have been up still. There was a moment It might have been at the second half at the start of that. But there was a moment where we got a 3 and out. We came back and we ran the football. First down, second down. Excuse me, guys. The eating before the show got me burping a little bit. Let me make sure I said that clearly again. We got the ball back. We ran the ball on first down and second down. And we got all of 2 yards. You see what I'm saying? I am fully on board with what Tim is saying. It does drive me absolutely crazy. Like you said, man, there are going to be times where the good defenses are going to get a team off the field. But when you look largely at, I'm not even going to say the best teams, decent teams in the NFL, their offense is consistently at least maintaining a drive, and maybe the drive stalls out when they're on the other team's 40. You know, that fringe area where, we got a punt or a long field goal. You understand what I'm saying? It's like a lot of offensive teams can at least keep the drive trucking for a little bit, even if they don't score. And the Steelers, even though our offense is a lot better than it was last year, wherever you want the bar to be, it has been better. It still seems like we can't do things when we need it the most. And that is, oh man, that hurts. That's a serious problem, bro. Serious problem. So Tim, I appreciate you saying that, man. And like I said, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. You get no complaint from me on that. All right, moving on, guys. We got 3 more. This one is for J Flex Fitness. Thanks for calling, man. What you got for us?
Yo, what up, Sim? This is James, man. It's James Hayes in the chat. First of all,
what's good, man?
Ain't nothing much, man. First of all, I'd like to give thanks for another day. We here and we alive, man, and I thank you for this content. And I just wanted to big up the members only. You know what I mean? And the All 22. I watched that earlier today, and yo, like it's maddening. Like you say, you just see guys with the gaping holes 10 yards out. I saw you count the hashes back. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, but so yeah, if y'all ain't a member, man, please like check that out, man. It's good stuff, and I appreciate the content that you putting out. But I wanted to ask you, you know what I mean, from your opinion. I think Mr. Winningham, or you touched on it earlier, was the TJ production, and how is that contract looking now? And then also I agree with Tim on how the offense seems to stall out. You know, and it's just like it just add so much insult to injury. We got both sides, offense and defense, not holding each other up. And so I guess Tim, I'm more so to vent and just kind of get your thoughts on the TJ production. Do you feel like that's still a good contract at this point in time? I mean, I know there's no way to, possibly know for sure, but and then the DK penalty, man. You're supposed to be brought in here basically as, a mentor for that locker room, and to do that at that point in the game. And it's just so many different things. Tim, honestly, like I said, we need Jesus, man. And I appreciate everything, brother.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you calling in, man. And I'll definitely respond to both of those last points there. DK, man. Listen, guys, I know people make mistakes, right? I know we've been there. All of us have been there, whether you've played sports or your job, right? But you just can't. And that to me is the professional part, right? I just had a conversation with my son tonight. I always like to relate this to real world stuff. Got a little upset tonight in practice, right? Because we made them do this drill, right? Because the team that we're going to play in the playoffs, they try to be physical, right? But we think we are a better team. So we had this little drill where we kind of put them in like a little triangle. And, it's like a sumo wrestle type of thing. Each guy collide, not tackle, but driving your feet, who can drive who back. And we purposely put my son up against one of our linemen, big kid, right? And at first, he couldn't quite move him, and he was getting upset. right? So then the next time he couldn't quite move him, even more upset. I pulled him to the side. Actually, I pulled him by his face, man. I said, look, kill that attitude. Kill that. Go in there and compete. He's bigger than you. He's supposed to be. Just go hold your own. That's all we need you to do. Next time around, he holds his own, standing up, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Great. Then we put him up against another kid that was bigger than him, blew him up, drove him to the ground. And I'm like, see, it's all about attitude, but being able to harness it. Not showing out, pouting, throwing your hands up, getting in somebody's face, doing something stupid. And I relate that back to DK Metcalf. And what I mean by that is part of being a professional and getting paid the money you're getting paid is you can't do that. I know mistakes happen, but you can't do that. Not in that moment, guys. That was Jaylen Warren was this close to it was gonna be 3rd and 1. 3rd and inches maybe, because he was very close. And look what happened, and look what it did to the drive. So yeah, that DK thing is crazy. And really quick, TJ Watt, listen. I'm not going to call it today after, what are we, 4-3, 7 games. We got the rest of the season to go. But I tell you this much, TJ better pick it up. I love TJ Watt, love who he's been. Been an outstanding Steeler, might go down as one of the best at his position, right? But when you demand that contract, there is no legacy. There's no, oh, that's just TJ and he's getting, no. We're paying you to play like the way that you still feel that you can play. Yeah, I understand it's market value and all that, but you demanded that. It ain't like you came in and said, you know what, I'm not quite what I used to be. If so-and-so is making that, I'm cool with making 30. No, you didn't say that. You wanted to meet the market. Cool. But you're going to have to perform. And the reason why I say we're going to watch the rest of the season, because depending on how the Steelers end up, let's say we get in the playoffs still, we go on a run, how did TJ Watt show up? Are we going to be talking at the end of the season that he ended up finishing with about 15 or more sacks, back to his normal TJ Watt ways? He showed up in the playoffs. That's when we're going to answer this question again. But I will say this right now, he's not playing up to that level right now for whatever reason. Whether you're getting chipped, double teamed, single man. If I'm not mistaken, I think Herbig might still be leading in sacks. See what I'm saying? Now, Herbig doesn't draw the same attention, but I'm just saying, you have to still be the man. So my eyes and eyebrows are raised on that contract. All right, we got 2 more guys. Discord is weird. It just says O. So it just says O. And I guess you'll know who you are. So O, thank you for calling in. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, Sim? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm glad that you mentioned that a great head coach won't oust his whole team on the media. You want to know what else a great head coach won't do? And also, pardon me, I missed last week. I was going to say this last week, but I didn't make it. But a great head coach doesn't get on Cleveland for trading Joe Flacco to Cincinnati and basically say to the whole league that you're scared of Joe Flacco. That's first off. Number 2, we have the same exact we always get different players, different coordinators, all these different pieces, but the result ends up being the same, okay? We got DK Metcalf to be a veteran in this locker room. And he acts just like George Pickens. So like what I'm getting at is our problem is the head coach. Let's just be real. All the games that we won, we are fool's gold all over again. And like damn near every single season we were fool's gold. Back in 2018 we were fool's gold. We ended up I'm just ready for the collapse. Now our schedule's going to get really tough. And it's because we have horrible piss poor coaching. For example, the Patriots, they don't have all the talent that like we have. And they're playing way better than us. There are teams with way less talent that are playing way better than us. And we got the highest paid defense in the league to just be a joke. Now, like y'all said, like it's time for Tomlin to go, but he is not a good head coach. He is the closest things to what was that coach for the Cowboys that beat us in the Super Bowl after they got rid of what's his name, Johnson? What's his name?
Oh,
Barry
McCarthy.
Switzer, right?
Oh, you said Switzer.
Barry
Okay.
Switzer, right? Yeah. Barry Switzer, right? That is who Mike Tomlin is. The more guys that left Bill Cowher's regime, the worse the Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten. And a fun fact, our current president didn't even start his first term the last time that Mike Tomlin won a playoff game. And this is getting ridiculous. We are mediocre and just upright trash. Every time that we play the best teams in the league, we underperform. The league has passed us by. And I'm sick of this team settling for mediocrity. We're the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's lost its value. Thank you. That's all I got, Sim.
Hey, man, thanks for calling. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I'll just give my reflections on the thoughts. Like I always said, guys, I'm never going to debate and argue anyone about their opinion for a coach, player. We all have our own opinions. I will offer reflections to it. The Barry Switzer comparison, I don't really understand. I don't see that one. What else do I want to say? DK Metcalf is just like George Pickens. Like, I wouldn't say that either. I mean, for us, yeah, he had that penalty, but DK hasn't, nothing else he's done this season. He hasn't been a locker room cancer. The only thing else I will say, guys, I love when we share our thoughts, and this is why I have this platform, but I just give me more, right? What I mean by that is tell me why you think said coach is trash, why you think said player is trash, so we can kind of hear each other's thoughts, right? Because I think what we do sometimes, just people in general, oh, that sucks, that trash, but we don't articulate it, right? And that's not at you. I'm saying us in general, people. So I just would love for you guys to come on and give me your thoughts and tell me why. Give me some concrete things that stick to you to say, this is why this guy is not good. Boom, 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 boom. And I'll be like, hey, I respect the opinion, or I might agree, I might disagree. That's all I would ask to do, because again, my opinion, and some people can say it's fact or not fact, but I just do not believe a bad head coach can have the career that Mike Tomlin has had. I don't think that's possible. That's not me siding for him or going against him. I just don't think it's possible for a bad head coach. We've seen bad head coaches in the NFL. It's impossible to have the career run that he's had. But we don't have to say he's great. We don't have to agree with. I'm just saying, I think sometimes he's a terrible coach is overblown. That's why I would love to hear people articulate their feelings, so we can all share in the comment. But thanks, man. Appreciate you calling in, and I hope you continue to call in going forward. Last but not least, we got my man Zuri Rivers. Let's bring him on. What you got for us, brother?
Boy, what's up, man? You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, what it do? Got to show love to both teams, even though ain't too much for us to be proud about, but, got to show love to both teams. Oh, man. I really have quick points and try to get off the phone. I got a lot on my mind, so I got to try to make it quick. But it's mental breakdowns, bro. I always call and say that every week I'm not satisfied. So it's like these losses, I'm not saying I'm not surprised, but it's just like, hey, I'm kind of immune to it. So it's just like, hey, like we gotta be mentally prepared, man. Too many open gaps, missed tackles, and like everything plays a factor, man. Like, what's the energy? You know what I'm saying? They playing Renegade. You know what I'm saying? Then I want to say as soon as after Renegade played, they bust out for like a 15-yard run. Yeah, man. Yeah. I want to stay patient, because we done had those seasons when, where we started out slow and a late push. Really, I want to wait till late November, December. You know what I'm saying? That's when That's when things really get cracking on. But this is mental things, bro. We gotta improve that, man. And offense, like I said, it's mentally, mental lapse too. We gotta, why when we get behind the sticks, we can't, we can't continue a drive. And there's another thing too. When it's like what I see what the other team is, when it's like 4th and short on, on the opposing team side, they go for it, and that's why the points that's why other teams keep getting points, because they take their chance on 4th down and they continue to drive. We do it and kick a field goal. We got the best kicker and all, but we gotta have that aggression that, like, hey man, let's get 7. We can't be content with these 3 points. Like I said, offense doing what it can do, but it's just mental errors and just, people just not executing. And I apologize for the long call lump, but I had a lot on my mind. Y'all have a great night.
No, you good, man. Appreciate the call. It wasn't long at all. Yeah, that's one thing I would like to see change. I would like to see us be more aggressive on 4th down. And that's something I would squarely look right at Mike Tomlin, right face to face, and say, come on, man, we got to do better than that. Again, you say you don't live in your fears, but it kind of feels like sometimes it turns out to be the right decision, but I would prefer us to just be more aggressive, especially when it's times like we not really stopping the team anyway. You know what I mean? I would definitely, that would be a question I would have for the head coach. I know a lot of time he says he goes with his gut, and I would say, look, how come sometimes we don't just roll our sleeves up? But it goes back to what I think Tim was saying, the offense. It's like we can't never do anything when we need to. And that is a serious problem. So I do not disagree with that. But yeah, man, I appreciate all the calls tonight. And I'm going to say something really quick before I go, just to show y'all that I'm a man of my word and I do what I feel and I stand on what I believe in, and I don't care what the ramifications are. So I'm going to say something really quick, and this is going to be the last time I say this. I promise y'all. I could care less who you like or dislike when it comes to player, staff, Mike Tomlin, etc. But what I'm no longer going to tolerate, and what I would start doing if I continue to see this, I'm just going to block people. I would no longer tolerate any of you that continue to say, I see 3 of y'all that said it tonight. I see you only disagree with the caller that talked about Tomlin. What I'm trying to figure out is, what am I defending him for? Where does it show that, I'm riding or die? I'm not even pushing back with no, but it's not. I'm really confused how y'all come away from that. That to me is a narrative that should not exist, because if it existed, I would expect all of you in the chat, my people, Kenyon, CT, Mr. Winningham, Mr. Cunningham, Y. Diggy, Lanisha, Debbie, Steeler, many of y'all, I would expect y'all to call it out. So for now on, anybody that says anything utterly close to me of, you only doing that, you if they talk about Tom, dog, I'm just gonna block you. I ain't got time to keep seeing stupid stuff. That's really lame. I could care less about who you like or dislike, and I could care less, honestly, who the head coach is for the Steelers. I just said on this show, yeah, it might be Tom. I just said Sunday after the game. But somehow, y'all try to make it a Tomlin thing with me. Why? Why? When I have sat here and told you how much of a fan I am of Bill Cowher till this day. Why? because I'm smart enough or have the sense enough to say, y'all keep saying all of this nonsense in the organization that you root for, don't fire coaches. So what is the point for me to talk like y'all talk? Who am I to hold down Mike Tomlin? What are y'all talking about? So I'm not dealing with that. I'm sorry. Sometimes when I can't let this one go. So I'm just giving y'all the fair, I'm not even going to say warning because I'm nobody. I'm just letting y'all know right now, the next time I see it, I'm blocking you because it is stupid. It is a lazy take. He only disagree with people that try to put blame on Tomlin. When I didn't blame Tomlin, I went off on Tomlin. So I'm just letting you know that. I would advise y'all not to watch me then. Don't watch. If you feel that way, don't watch. But you ain't got to worry about making a decision. I'm going to make it for you. Do it. And we would say farewell. Because I don't care. I don't care. I don't care for you to watch. If that's what it's going to be. Disagree with me all you want, but stop taking these stupid narratives. So that's all I got. What else y'all got, man? What else y'all got? What else y'all got for me? Somebody dropped a, who was that? Ali Q6M. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. Round of applause. What else you got? Yeah, that's a fact. Like, I want you guys to have your own opinion. Like, hold on. I'm going to read one somebody wrote, and I respect it. I think it was James. Well, let me find it. Yeah. No, excuse me, Jermaine. Jermaine says, I think Tomlin leans on veteran players more so than most coaches, in my opinion, to cover up some of the lack in his ability to coach and develop younger players. Again, in my opinion. Round of applause. Not only did Jermaine put meat on the bone, he said, that's my opinion. There's nothing for me to challenge. I respect that. He said, this is how I feel. And I know Jermaine, as well as we know that there's nothing that we can say we know for certain. He said, in my opinion, I have nothing to say about that. See what I'm saying? There's nothing to disagree with. I ain't sitting here trying to change his mind. No. That's a valid point that he's making based off of his opinion. That's giving context and giving meat to the bone instead of just saying, he sucks. That's all I ask. Tell me why you like or hate somebody, because I like to have dialogue. I like to agree. I like to disagree when I don't agree, and we can do one of these and move about our way. What I don't respect, especially in this space, is when you guys try to make it into some personal nonsense. I'm not going to do that. I don't do this show for that. This is supposed to be a feel-good environment. So any of y'all coming in here with the toxic stuff, dog, see ya. What else we got? Somebody said scroll up. I think Kenyon want me to read something. Yeah, he says, we don't care about the head coach. We care about the Steelers. No coward Tomlin. We care about the squad. That's all. And we will care about who's ever after that. Facts. What else y'all got? Zoo Booman says, no, what's lazy is blocking someone you disagree with. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do it right now. No, I'm not. See, that's not nothing disrespectful. But again, he says, I'm out. Thank you. Round of applause. Quick one. Clearly, folks like you that don't understand the underlying point, let's do this. I'm not going to sit here and try to make you understand my point. I think most of the people here understand what I'm saying. Clearly, you don't if you took it like that. So, bye. We're going to remember you, so don't come back. What else y'all got? Mr. Cunningham says, for the record, the 2005 Steelers are my favorite Super Bowl championship, and I witnessed all 6. We won 8 straight and won all of those playoff games on the road. Cowher was my favorite coach also. Yeah. That's what I don't understand. Why is it such a dislike? Like, I like both coaches. No, Sim, the DEI. Oh, no. Somebody claiming that? Well, I ain't even going, I'll let that one be. Gavin Carr says, what has Pickens got to laugh for? They 3-4-1. Facts. Pickens is happy now. That's all it was. And see, again, I don't claim to know everything. I just try to use some educated speculation. To me, it was clear that Pickens was trying to get out of Dodge because of the quarterback. And I'm all mad at him. But to not understand why the Steelers traded him is where I'm like, wait, y'all ain't peeped that? There's 2 reasons why the Steelers could have traded him, right? If you didn't know. 1 was his behavior. 2 was for financial reasons. They already knew because of his behavior they weren't gonna keep him. Might as well trade him when you can get something for it. That's what you call smart business, right? But I'm not gonna turn around and say the Steelers were stupid because all of a sudden we don't feel like we have a number 2. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, I guess as a fan, I've started to understand things from the organizational standpoint, which is why I don't get so bent out of shape the way I once did years ago. Hitman Rob says, Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game going on 9 years. That's why I think he should be replaced. Round of applause. It's a fair point. You see why I don't have any pushback to that? It's a fair point. That's what I promote here. That's it. I just promote, hey, if we gonna talk, let's talk. What else y'all got? Have not won a playoff game and he keeps his job. Yeah. Listen, man, again, that is the Steeler organization. If Mike Tomlin is fired for not winning a playoff game in 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever consecutive years, you will not hear me complain one bit. Hey, Mike Tomlin, you did a good job while you were the coach. You got a Super Bowl. Hey, you kept us relevant. Now let's go to the next chapter. That is absolutely how I'm going to behave the day that comes. The only thing I would just caution you guys with, I don't think he will be fired, folks. That's why Sim doesn't waste his time, and I hate talking in third person. But that's why I don't waste my time with the rhetoric. If we were an organization that did that, I was very shocked by the Matt Canada thing, but that still won't a head coach. And again, y'all forget the number one thing that I continue to say to y'all every year. Ching, ching, ching. Mike Tomlin keeps this rolling in because the Steelers are always in conversation and they haven't had a losing season. That's really why the losing season, no losing seasons is important to the organization, because it keeps this. Business, guys, I'm just saying, I try to think both ways. I think from a business standpoint and I think from a fan standpoint. But hey, either way, I'm still going to be a Steeler fan, whatever happens. Yeah, he should be criticized, of course. But here's the thing, Hitman, again, some people act like I don't. When do I not criticize Mike Tomlin when he does something bad? I bet you the people who watch me constantly could tell you my 2 biggest problems with him. I bet you they can recite it. I say it so much. Now 3. Now I have 3 things. What else y'all got? I'm only going to give 3 more minutes. Knight Rider says, just look at the past several playoff games, all blowouts. Okay. I'm not disagreeing with none of these playoff losses. I'm with you. Gavin says people are not using their brains because they let feelings get involved. I think that happens quite often. Clock management, challenges, and soft zone coverage. Absolutely. I repeatedly get on Mike Tomlin about those things. Those are my biggest ills with Mike Tomlin. That is it. Time management is probably one of the biggest in his tenure. All right, what else y'all got? Give me something else from somebody that hasn't spoke. What's up, Rel? My man, Rel Fax. He says, not saying he should be fired is not consideration. Criticism to the fire Tomlin crap. Hold on, wait, he says, not saying he should be fired is not, oh. Yeah, you know, if you don't say fire him, then that's why I'm saying I'm just not, listen, y'all can say that until y'all blue in the face. I'm just not going to tolerate anybody trying to paint the narrative that I am so pro Tomlin that I won't do this, I won't do that. I ain't got time to read that. That is silly and stupid. Real G Lee, my man, he says, Sim, just stay Sim, been watching you for years. Always straightforward on your opinion and our team, and yeah, you have dog Tomlin. You have to give us content on a weekly basis, and you do. That's it. I just try to be me, man, and I don't even like to say try. I just be me. What y'all see is what y'all get. Kenyon to tell y'all, when me and him on the phone, this is the same dude. Matter of fact, y'all don't even see all of me, right? But this is what you get. I have no agendas. I'm just keeping a buck. And I appreciate when you guys recognize that, because that's just who I am by nature, man. I don't believe in any other way. I don't believe in being anything but me. Uh-oh, somebody talk about DEI again. Says, that's my opinion. He is a DEI hire. What does my last name have to do with that? All right, so let me explain one thing to y'all. The funny thing is when people say that, y'all say it like it's a slight. Yeah, Mike Tomlin, you want me to say it? When Mike Tomlin was hired, yeah, he was a DEI hire, right? If you're using the definition of DEI, which I mean sometimes when some people say that, I know what you're saying. But if we want to use the definition, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the Rooney family thought, for whatever reason, I don't know why they did it. I don't know if it was a good business move or if they really feel that in their heart. I don't know. But for whatever reason, they decided to take a stand and say, hey, there's not enough diversity in head coaches. We're going to hire one. We think we found a guy that could do the job. He messed around and turned into a good coach. He won a Super Bowl, and I know people, oh, yeah, but that was Cowboys team. Okay, I get it. That's what y'all say? So it's funny that conversation is like a negative thing when in all reality, technically it was. Rooney Rule, anybody? So honestly, I don't even understand why that's a debate. Again, it just goes to show that people don't use this. I don't even know how that could be a slight when everybody in the world knows he was hired because the Rooneys were definitely making an attempt to hire somebody diverse. You want to go as far as saying African-American. Thought they had a good candidate, turned out to be a great coach for them. And what's even funnier is the fact that we have to even say that, different show. Different show. Different show. I'm telling you, man, my mind goes deep, man. There's so much I could talk about, but that's a different show. All right, what else y'all got, man? But see, Romero, but you see the difference between you and me? I haven't attacked any of your takes. It's just an opinion, just like your opinion is that it's laughable. And see, this is what I'm saying. This is what's wrong with the world. Everybody tries to trash somebody else's opinion instead of just being like, oh, okay, that's how he feel. That's what's wrong with the world, man. What else y'all got? Give me a couple more. I like this little conversation we having here. Knight Rider says, Tomlin wasn't even the guy they were aiming at. Tomlin just blew them. Wait. Go back. The Wonder Bread knocked it out. I appreciate it, though, but hold on. Let me find that comment again. Oh, here it goes. Tomlin just blew them away, and he did his interview, and they decided to go with him. Oh, okay. So with that comment, Knight Rider, I'm just curious. Again, you didn't make the statement, but with what Knight Rider just said, do you guys think that was a DEI hire, or did he just blow them away and he got the opportunity to interview? Reading Knight Rider's comment, what do you guys think that was? And whatever you feel is whatever you feel. Round of applause again to my guy James, man. Appreciate that, brother. Looking at the all-22, O-line run blocking was good. Pass pro was a failure. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the confidence to look down the field without happy feet. Yeah, it's a lot of different things happening, man, on the field. Again, when you watch film, guys, it puts a lot of things in perspective. And again, I say you blame the coaching staff for the plan and how they align guys. But once the ball is snapped, there's so much, guys, there's so much that happens when that ball goes hut that you like, ooh, what was that? You know what I mean? I think this is Debbie. Debbie. She says, Sim, I don't know why you even went through the exercise. Trolls not changing. Ramiro doesn't believe in facts. That's why they resort to perceived distance. Well, you know, sometimes I have a little fun with it, Debs. You know, it's entertaining for me. But that's why I put that narrative in that, not that narrative, excuse me. That's why I put that statement out there. You know, anybody that starts getting the trolling and starts saying off the wall stuff, then I'm just blocking them. I don't care. All right, last one. Leonard Green says, I'm not on the fire Tomlin train. I'm on, there comes a time when everything runs its course. It did with Ben Roethlisberger. Yes, I agree with that. It's been a long time. 18 years is a long time. A long time. For somebody who is 18 years of age, right? He's been the head coach your entire schooling since kindergarten. And before that, because most people start kindergarten in fifth grade, at 5 years old, right? Your entire schooling from kindergarten to senior year, he's been the head coach. It's a long time, man. Romero says, Sim, I wasn't attacking you or your opinion. I was just strongly disagreeing with it. Okay, fair. You know, fair. And that's what I hate sometimes about text, because I can't hear intent, right? So if I read that wrong, my bad. See, I'm man enough to say that, my bad. Just a disagreement. Wow. Steeler Card says, Tomlin has been the head coach ever since I became a fan. I'm 23. See, it's a long time. It's a long time. Wow. Mr. Tonight and Kenyon just dropped something that I think some people forgot. Bill Cowher cut James Harrison 3 times. Wow. See? Again, man, listen. If you start combing through who coaches are, even some of your favorites did some things that you didn't like, man. And that's why, again, this is just my opinion. This is why I'm not so quick to just throw coaches under the bus, right? Because we don't know the ins and outs. Look at what's going on with Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel didn't do anything in Tennessee, man, for the most part, right? things started going sour. And look at his start that he has right here with New England. See? So that's what I asked you guys, man. Is it because of the 18-year stint and for as long as it, see, and that's the thing. In 18 years, you're going to have these ups and downs, right? Imagine if Tomlin, what would y'all say? I'm trying to remember when was the last year we was 12-4. I know in the COVID year, we started off hot. But let's go back to 2017. Something like that. All right, let's say 10 years from when he became the coach. So I think that's roughly it, because I think Tomlin became the coach in what, 07? 06, 07? But let's just say, give Mike Tomlin a 10-year stretch. What would y'all say? Oh, we was also 12-4 in 2020, so okay. What would y'all say if he was 10 years, 8 years even? You would say, man, he went to the Super Bowl twice. He won one, almost had a chance to win the other one, had a couple 12-4 back-to-back seasons, had a 13-3. And then the Steelers went another way. We'd all be like, hey, man, he had a pretty good run. High winning percentage, right? It wouldn't have been long enough to see some of these 8-8s, 9-8s, 9-7-1. Like, see what I'm saying? I think that 18-year time is the problem. Honestly, I do. It's the duration of time. And that is a gift and a curse for him. But I honestly think that is the problem. That's an interesting comment. Ayana Jones says, Mike Tomlin never was Andy Reid level. Which Andy Reid? The Eagles? Let's talk about that real quick, guys, and then we'll go. And y'all got me on this show for a long time tonight. Let's talk about that point right there. Which Andy Reid? Are you going to say that Mike Tomlin okay, compare Mike Tomlin's Eagles, right, his career to Andy Reid's Eagle career. Let's compare that. Let's not include Kansas City, Andy Reid. And let me explain to you why I don't include that. Well, because that would be what some of you feel that Mike Tomlin needs to do, go to another team. We don't know what he would do with another team. And also, listen, you luck up and you're smart enough to draft a guy like Patrick Mahomes. And if you look at the back half, right, when Andy Reid is 13 years, so let's say you take Mike Tomlin's 13 years and then every year after that, look at the quarterback situation, right? I'm just saying. Okay, Knight Rider says Mike Tomlin had a way better quarterback than Andy Reid did. In Philly? I mean, I understand. I get it. Yeah, Big Ben, but let's not act like he had a chump. That team went to the Super Bowl with Donovan McNabb. Had excellent defenses with, what's my man name? What's my guy's name, man? That defensive guy, he passed away, Johnson. What was his name? They had outstanding defenses. Great offensive players, running backs. Had a nice run when Mike Vick came. Mike Vick, some of y'all will challenge this. Mike Vick playing his best football as a quarterback, not just a runner. Come on, don't do that. But that's just my opinion. But let me see what some of y'all got. And I'm going to come right to that donation too. Philly Andy Reid wasn't Chiefs Andy Reid. Absolutely not, man. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, guys. And again, this ain't just me saying it. Look at the chat. Jermaine White says that Duck year was his best coach, in my opinion. Some people saying Mahomes made Andy. See what I'm saying, guys? Hold up. What was my man's name? I know Kenya know. What was that defensive coordinator name, man? He was a monster. Something Johnson, I think his last name was. Walter W., man, appreciate the Wonder Bread, brother. He says, hate Tomlin all you want to. That's fine. But what bothers me is arguing with ignorance. Not one NFL organization operates through one man. Use more facts and less feelings. This is organizational, not on just one man. Man, that is the best comment that, in my opinion, is a full-blown fact. Full-blown. Full-blown fact. But, all right, man, I'm going to get out of here. I've been on talking to you guys for that's it. Jim Johnson. Thank you, guys. Jim Johnson. Very similar to the Steelers, right? Outstanding defenses, offenses that weren't quite prolific sometimes. But, so, come on, man. If you comparing Andy Reid's Philly days to Mike Tomlin, they're very comparable. I'm just saying, if we're being honest with ourselves. But some of you guys won't do that because, again, it's these narratives, man. It's these narratives, dog. Yeah. Quick Hitting says, Ben was a turnover waiting to happen. You people are simple. McNabb was fired. This is what I'm saying, man. I let you guys have the narratives, man. Y'all can have it. But I love this, man. This was a great conversation. But again, I'm going to say it one more time. Do not take it as a threat. Do not take it as a threat. I'm just saying, listen, I will not tolerate any more people trying to build a narrative about me just only going to bat for Tomlin. Oh, you only disagree with the call of that. Anybody doing that, clipping you, and we gonna stay over here and have a good time. Because that's just dumb and ignorant, man. I'm sorry. But I appreciate you guys, man, of course. Listen, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button if you like the video. If you dislike it, hit the dislike. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on your notifications. But outside of all of that, make sure you guys stay safe out there. Speaking of that, man, pray for the people in Jamaica, man. And anybody else that's affected by the storm. You know, from what I heard, there hasn't been any crazy reportings yet, but, you know, just pray for everybody out there, man. But anyway, you guys also be safe, stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you all for tuning in. This was fun. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.